and quite unknown. Masuda, he's inside of the apartments, gets gushed and falls back early. These T's, they are cranking up the pace. They are running rampant into the A bomb site. RPK just executes two. Masuda's got a double, and it's a full house between the tank.
There's the reoccurring question as well as you go further into the map, but it's only ZywOo. I say only, the man is worth 5, honestly, against most teams, but he's now going to be bolstered up. Like Apex, first frag goes the way of Cadian, showing he's not just good with the AWP, he can take the AK-47 as well. 2 smokes put down, and Storm rips off the head of Apex. Beautiful start, waiting for a next player to push in, which is going to be Shox out into the open. A flash did connect, but it's not going to be enough to repel everybody on Heroic, and the post-plant will be favoring Heroic to take their first round, with Vitality saving these 2 weapons. I like this, but of course, if Heroic go through apps, if they go through quad, it's going to completely bypass everything that Vitality are trying to succeed in.
Yeah, that's most certainly it. But, you know, then there's a part of me that does kind of realize, like, well, Heroic, I don't think Apartments has been their entry. Not as often as Arch has been their unraveling. So I'm all for that initial 3-man stack. They do have to throw a player into the bomb site just because of the utility usage that they saw, right? Clearly not willing to just throw away the round. So it was a temporary gamble more than a definitive one. But clearly, Heroic not definitively making a play just yet. That bomb's back on T-ramp, will be collected by Stown. And now it is that arch wrap. It's Shox trying to get into position with just his deagle. Masuda, he was on the bomb site, but he's actually managed to push around on the lane side, cutting off the bomb carrier who comes into the site late. That's the upgrade into the AK. And suddenly Heroic, they're a little bit stressed in the situation. Masuda wastes no time doubling back through apps. Now ZywOo, he's got the deagle kill, and there are weapons to acquire. He's gone ahead and picked up that AK-47. Apex, he's got the armored MP9. And while Nico and Borup have this bomb site under wraps, with the bomb planted on top of it, this is a pinched retake attempt between Apex and ZywOo. ZywOo, he's going to creep through the side of that smoke. Maybe ZywOo tries to get set up here by Apex. That MP9 runs in first, but he doesn't check the corner. Still, ZywOo able to trade it immediately. He's got Nico's head on a silver platter. He just needs to pop it, and he absolutely does. 3 frags for ZywOo, 2 on Masuda, and the force buy for Vitality works wonders.
Yes, that's a very fair assessment, yeah.
Let's see what happens here in mid. It's Tessez on the challenge. Shox bests him first. Masuda, he's good for 1 frag, and then that second pesky CT comes out of the porch and gets a frag as well. Shox versus Cadian on the A site. Ooh, and they just barely cross. Now I favor Shox's angle. It looked like Cadian was about to catch him, but Shox honing in on it. Even with Cadian able to answer with a little bit of damage, it's just not quite enough. Shox is pushed down lower than that of Stown, but 22 points of HP for Heroic's final player in a 1v2. And it looks like Shox just wants to keep himself alive. Him and ZywOo primed to retake whatever they need to once the time comes. But what if Stown doesn't go plant bomb? What if instead he decides to wrap through Arch and maybe go towards B? Suddenly, I don't think Vitality are going to expect that one.
It's a great read. This isn't playing for the bomb plant. This is playing to win the round. I love this call from Storm, but he's going to decide against it. He goes back through library. He's got information. Arch side is clear. No one's there quick enough to justify him worrying about this angle anymore. So he can go in for the plant and focus his attention towards middle. The thing is, every second he takes to cover all of these close corners allows Vitality to get up close and get that timing play on Stown. So he may have missed his window of opportunity now, but the good news is that Vitality are isolated. It would be 2 separate 1v1s if Shox on low HP, as you've mentioned, goes out and goes for a peek. So he's going to be setting up for a post-plant exit frag instead, and now Stown can move into arches. He may be playing the long con because he's on 22 HP. He has to take risks. He has to take gambles. If he goes into a fight, he's dead. He knows a bullet anywhere on him and he's a goner. So he's taking this off angle instead. There was a team kill in amongst that. For a moment, I thought he did it. But ZywOo, mate, he's such a Terminator.
Gotta get that 5th one. And they're just gonna stampede up bananas. ZywOo in position. 1, 2, 3. Not a 4th. Nico's had enough of that. And Nico has been the shining light at times. He will need to be brighter than ever in a 1 versus 4 with 14 health. I'm not much of a gambling man, Vince, but I would not take this bet any day of the week.
Likewise. Squawny, unfortunately, my game has decided to crash, so I'll be with you in a second.
Goodbye. It was nice working with you, Vince, but short-lived. Luckily, it is good timing for us in the sense that, Nico still sitting in the clutch despite having very little chances. Shoxy comes around the corner.
Ever casted in my life. And if this goes 11-4, I really don't think that does justice for how well Heroic have played. But they may be able to get a fifth. It's only ZywOo that is hiding in ruins, waiting for the reinforcements to arrive. Last round of the half, so they don't care about a post plan. They just want to make sure they get this round under wraps. So much utility as well, by the way. 2 incendiaries, smokes, HEs, flashbangs, and a player to the good. It's hard to see how Heroic can hold the line.
Yeah, I want you to take this one, Vince.
Alrighty, let's do it then. Heroic going to be pushing onto the banana side. Tessis and Nico hiding together, playing that 2-man buddy system. Storm flicking to the side, goes in and gets a 3rd kill as well. What the hell happened here, Heroic? Not only do they take the round,
the commitment comes in, but that commitment from Vitality is heading towards B. ZywOo wants to run rampant through the smokes, down right on the other side, gets bested by Masuda. And ZywOo, he gets that Glock back up in order to take down the 2nd defender. It is the bomb plant here for Vitality. It's the retake attempt for Heroic with no utility, and as said, that damage done early on 2 of the remaining 3 CTs.
the first player to be wounded, Cadian, is going to come full circle and try and clutch this retake again. No kits. Nico, though, at least going to bring this back to equality, but Apex takes that equality and throws it away from Shadow. And Cadian is going to be feeling like the blinkers are about to be put on him, but at least comes out with the 1 kill, 12 HP to his name. The prospect of clutching very low. Going to try and deny some lives moving through. He can't get this defused. The round is over. He's going to try and tickle this, draw Shox back into the open, who's having none of it. P250.
So maybe just run down mid? This is ridiculous. The scout shot actually does that early damage. The CTs, they're going to storm the bottom of the T-ramp, and RPK just turns them back the other direction. He turns them inside out. It's down with that Deagle, good for just the 1. ZywOo able to upgrade into the AK, and the last man up is Cadian, that scout who did the early damage. I respect Heroic's hustle, but it's their feathers rustled as they have to go in for this 1v4 retake. Never would you bet Cadian could win this.
Even the man that was going huge on Mirage. $100 well spent as 3 grenades fire up there and land on adversaries. And now Vitality getting maybe a bit too antsy and carried away. Apex tagging Masuta in the back, and Cadian holding the line. There's a 3rd from Nico. Much better. We're actually seeing Heroic waking up and stepping up to the plate and delivering some frags. Still, they have ZywOo and Shox to contend with, who has now just put down Storm. And Shox about to drop out of the balcony, finding himself Nico. Tess is pushed up on the side, hoping for the best. There's 2 Ts about to push down, and they're not going to get the frag from Shox. Now he's going to turn his attention towards Arches, where Burp is waiting for his man Cadian to show up.
Cadian wraps back away from Library. You can see Shox, he's still fixated on what could be the 2 peaks on each side of that, but Borup, he is now super close. Shox face plant, and Borup bites. But Shox, he's still so concerned with Cadian being up there. However, he's moving forward away from Cadian. Cadian, he doesn't have the cover of the box. And Shox, a 4K in the 2 versus 5. He ducks out, and they'll hang on to the 5v5.
The other aspect of it as well, though, is like Heroic a bit unfortunate just to have like a 15-5, potentially 16-5 scoreline. But it also goes to show how good Vitality are at grinding out those 1v1, 2v2 scenarios that Heroic found themselves in so many times and let slip out of their fingers. At the end of the day, Vitality have just been more clutch. And now they're going to be pushing onto the B side. It's only Burrup that's up against them. He has an M4, one of the best weapons at their disposal, but no grenades in which to try and hold off. So he's playing this one passively. His teammate's gone down though on CT side. Burrup's going to show his hand. Is it going to be too little too late? Is this just a drop in the bucket? And it feels like it may very well be. Plus, watch out for Shox. He's on the flank. Cue the Jaws music. He's about to go ahead and have a feast up on CT. If no one checks the back, he's going to spray through the lot of them. Meanwhile, his team are keeping them busy, keeping them occupied over on the B side. And now Shox is about to strike, is about to chomp. There's the 1 kill coming in. It could be a second. It's late, but it's not quite the cleanest of kills. But he won't give a damn because the round is going to be falling the way of Vitality as Zylu just kills himself. I'm not too sure what happened there, I'm not going to lie, but some of his mates are actually quitting, and Misuta's going to get the kill.